G'day everyone, Chad Bally here, just giving a quick wrap up from our fortnightly sheep and lamb sale over here at Glen Innes this morning. Just over 1,100 head yarded, so a light winter yarding you'd say, but some very, very, very good heavyweight lambs. Once again, penned, not a lot of trades. And once you get off those better weighted heavy lambs, a lot of lambs were secondary and carrying a little bit of a jacket. Best of the heavy lambs out to $236. They will count Rosehill Holdings. Those lambs I thought would have been 32 or 3 kilos dressed. But most of those heavier weight lambs, you know, in excess of sort of 28 or 30 kilos, made anywhere from 214 to 236. Quote that job sort of $7.30 to $7.50, so firm on previous sales. Best of the heavy trades. Now these are the Mickey Mouse heavy trades, sort of 55 to 60 kilos, 180 to just over $200. Those lambs will be $750 to $780. But once you're in that secondary type, you drop 20 quite quickly. You're back to sort of 160 to 170, 75. So the well-presented lambs showing finish and yield sold well. But once again, those secondary types, you know, struggled. Not a lot of trades, as I said, but those best butcher trades, sort of 165 to 180. The best of those will be pushing, you know, closer to $8 again. But once again, those inferior types, 135 to 155. And we didn't have the restocker competition that we've seen previous sale. Getting there with the restocker lambs, the best of those out to 146 to return back to the paddock. That job be 20 or 30 cheaper, but it just seemed, I wouldn't say ridiculously dear, but that was very, very solid here a fortnight ago, those restocker lambs, out to 170 to 80 going back to the paddock. Those secondary store lambs anywhere from $39 or $40 up to 100. Not a lot of hoggets. Best hoggets out to 110, but all traded over 100. Very, very few sheep. Wouldn't have been a lane of sheep, but once again, sold solid. It would be cheaper, but very hard to quote with limited numbers. But best of the cross you use out to 114, but most sales 92 to 100, but didn't have the weight nor the condition that we're seeing in previous sales. And only one real pen of, you know, decent trade, merino ewes. Younger ewes with a fair skin, they made out to $93. But all in all, you'd say the best end of the lambs firm. The secondary lambs once again cheapened, and not a lot of restocker interest this week. The lambs quite weren't there either, but that job was distinctively cheaper than what we saw a fortnight ago. Anyway, that is enough from me this week. We'll talk to you again next week. Thank you.
G'day all, Ben McMahon here, just with a quick market wrap on the Inverell sheep and lamb sale and fat cattle sale, the 30th of July 2024. About 1,100 cattle yarded here this morning in a fully firm market. On paper, the cow job probably looks a little bit softer, but best of the cows still getting out to sort of 318 cents, but probably more cows under $3 than over. That probably just reflected the class of the cow rather than the job softening. Still a lot of the better end cows, sort of 302 or 4 cents up to 308 cents. So all pretty good there, and like I said, a sort of mid 400 kilo cow or up to 500 kilos still making sort of 250 or 60 cents. Maybe those cows may have made 5 or 8 dearer, 5 or 8 more last week, but probably just a little bit softening there in that category. Onto the steers and bullocks. Not a heap of big heavyweight bullocks like we saw last week there, but a few steers, feeder steers. Best of the feeder steers out to sort of 400 cents for the blacks, and 350, 55 or 60 for the crossies. A good run of lightweight steers, background of steers, black and black bally fellas up the top there. Those steers made out to sort of 416 or 18 cents for sort of either side of 300 kilos. So for a black bally steer, so all fully firm there. A few crossbred fellas making sort of 350 or 60 cents for sort of 320 or 30 kilos. So all positive. Into the heifers. There were a few good yearlings there, starting to come off crop, and a few heavy heifers. Good black heifers out to sort of 355 cents for sort of 380, 90 kilos. So that was probably a highlight. The crossbred still making 320 or 30. But yeah, once again, a nice run of lighter heifers there, and they're sort of making, you know, probably 310 or 15 cents up to 320 or 30 in places for the better types. So that lightweight job a fair bit stronger. So overall a firm market. Yeah, like I said, in places it may read a little bit softer, but probably just quality related. Over to the sheep and lambs, about 3,000 sheep and lambs yarded here this afternoon. Best of the mutton out to about $130. Plenty of mutton in the second rate is sort of still making 70 or 80, so all firm there, maybe a little bit softer. The top end of the lambs held well. Saw some 64 kilo second cross lambs, beautiful lambs, make out to $250. But yeah, sort of 60 to 62 kilos, making anywhere from sort of 228 to sort of 235 or $38. So all firm on that front. Some sort of 47 kilo lambs, crossbred fellas, make out to $170. And yeah, not a heap of lightweight lambs there to quote, but yeah, beautiful run of lambs, just starting to come forward. Some Dorper fellas we had were, I think they're about 47, 48 kilos, and they made out to 176. So all a pretty good result into the sheep and lambs, but yeah, softening as trends are everywhere in the south. Anyhow, that's enough from me, and we'll hear from Shad later in the week. Thank you.